Hello, friend. I'm coming to you warm today because I am not actually just finished with a run. I am finished with a walk, and it is actually the coldest July we have ever had ever, so I'm not even really all that warm. My hands are freezing, but I have a topic that is so hot in my brain that I really wanted to talk to you about it, even without my normal routine. Here's what was on my mind today. I was thinking about one of the ways that I have stopped myself from getting my goal that I totally recognize in you also, which is why we're talking about it so that it can help you, is I have a recurring thought in my brain that I don't know how. I don't know how to get my goal. I don't know how to do something specific. I don't know how I'm supposed to move forward. I don't know how to get unstuck. I don't know how. And I recognize this as a form of overthinking. You, my overthinking, ambitious friend, probably recognize this too. There is a thing that you and I both do where we'll be moving along just fine, heading towards our goal. Things feel relatively like we've got most of it under control. We've come to a point where some of the tasks feel easier to do than others. We're kind of in a routine. And then something will spark with you. Some new wrinkle, some new thing that feels like a problem, some new something comes up, and you and I will say to ourselves, I don't know how. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to handle this. I don't know what to do in order to move through this. And then you and I both go off on what I refer to in my own brain as the endless quest for knowledge. That is the part that's not really overthinking. It's the part that's like overdoing, where we get in this loop of, I need to know more. I want to understand more. I need more knowledge. I need more information. I need to do some more quote unquote research. I have a little soapbox about that. The actual research is the scientists in the labs who are conducting actual experiments. What you and I do, though, is we go to ChatGPT or the Google or the YouTubes, and we look for somebody else's opinions. This is, unfortunately, a loop that you and I can get caught in somewhat endlessly. And that is why I really wanted to bring it to your attention today, so that you can have a framework for understanding what to do when you don't know how to get your goal. And I want to be clear that I am never telling you not to learn more. Like, that was a double negative. I am in favor. I am team knowledge. I am team information. I absolutely, totally think of myself and you as a lifelong learner. Here's the problem, though. What we are often seeking when we go off on this quest for knowledge isn't really knowledge. What we are often seeking is validation, somebody else's opinion, somebody else to lead the way, somebody else to guide us, somebody else to tell us what to do. And what I really want to offer you in terms of information that's important to have on your way to your goal is that the most important information is the mechanics of getting your goal and self-awareness. Those are the two different types of knowledge that will take you everywhere you want to go. And most of us overthinking, ambitious women, tend to go straight for the outside of us knowledge rather than the inside of us knowledge. Understanding the mechanics of your goal is super important, like super important. What you will often find, though, is experts on the internet trying to tell you about one piece of the mechanics. Here's a really specific example that comes to my mind all the time. There is no end to the number of business coaches that you can find when you go anywhere on the internet. And I will tell you, actually, here's a little note to the side here. Both Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, that's more than both, Every social media platform I visit has figured out that I am an entrepreneur. So therefore, I get targeted ads constantly talking about business. And generally speaking, the type of business coaches that I meet online, the ones who target their ads at me, are trying to tell me how to do one really specific thing that is only one piece of the business puzzle. And I, as a business owner, as the president and CEO of my own company, actually don't need that information until I understand the bare bones, basic mechanics of running a business. And I'll actually tell you really quickly, here's how to be in business. You have a product or a service. Your service is a product also. You have a thing. You tell people about that thing. Then you exchange value for that thing because it's a thing that other people want. Then you deliver that thing. That is the mechanics of being in business. You have a thing, other people want that thing, you exchange your thing for their thing. That's really the heart of it. You want to know the mechanics of writing a book? You write a book and then you publish it so other people can read it. You want to know the mechanics of losing weight? You get in a slight caloric deficit over time. You want to know the mechanics of running really specifically running a race. First of all, you find a race and then you adapt your body to run that distance at a pace you desire by understanding that the human body makes adaptations through a cycle of challenge and recovery. That's it. When you think about how very simple the mechanics are of your goal, it can really help you cut through a lot of the noise of the pieces of your goal that a lot of people on the internet want to assure you is the way to do things. I offer really specifically that getting your goal, let me restart that sentence. I offer you really specifically that the way to get your goal is to understand yourself. The product that I am selling is a mechanical way, a nuanced way of getting that self-knowledge. I teach you how to journal. And I also offer you implementation of that journaling process and the ability to journal among friends who can support you and see you and understand you while you are getting your goal. All three of the things that I do are actually what I am going to offer you here in this podcast. Understanding the mechanics of what you want and how to get it, how to get your goal, is step one. It helps you wade through all of the people who want to talk to you about the nuances of those mechanics. Having that knowledge is foundational. I offer that to you. Well, I offer it to you literally freely, and I offer it to you freely here on the podcast, that is where to start. Again, I consider myself a lifelong learner. I do consider knowledge and information to be absolutely vital right up until we use it, not really as a weapon against ourselves, but right up until we use it as a stalling tactic. Here's what I mean. Once you've watched the Daily 3 Masterclass so that you understand the mechanics of, hey, here's how to journal to get your goal and here's why it works. Here is the mechanics of changing your brain to really specifically the Daily 3. And you can go watch the Masterclass. There is a link for you here. But the Daily 3 teaches you how to do future self-journaling, metacognitive journaling, and success journaling. Left to its own devices, your brain will constantly predict the future based on your past. Your brain's biological imperative is to stay the same. So therefore, it predicts that your future will continue exactly as it has in the past. When you do future self-journaling, you are intentionally going, I'm going to say against biology, but you are working in a way that your brain is capable of but doesn't do automatically. You are asking your brain intentionally to see the future differently from your past, aka to see yourself with your goal that you do not currently have. Then, with metacognitive journaling, you are asking your brain to do something that it can do but doesn't do naturally. You're asking your brain to go against confirmation bias and actually see your thoughts as thoughts. Actually see that you are just telling yourself a story about what you see as factual circumstances so that you can break the emotional bond that you currently have with your thoughts, aka break through your mindset blocks. Then with the success journaling, you go against negativity bias, which is how your brain automatically and efficiently operates. And you ask your brain intentionally to see your successes, to see that you ask yourself to do a thing and then you do a thing, and that you are doing the things and they are adding up to get you where you want to go. And that not only that, but that you are the kind of person who has your goal. All three of those journaling types are put together intentionally in order to rewire your brain to understand yourself to get your goal. Self-knowledge, self-awareness, as far as I'm concerned, is the fastest path to your goal. You see your future self with your goal, you untangle all your mindset blocks, and you intentionally create mindset superhighways to get you there. Understanding that is enough to move on to the next step, which is implementation. And what I will tell you is that the reason you and I go back looking for more knowledge, looking for more nuance, looking for more expert opinions, looking for somebody to just tell us how, is because implementation feels messy. Implementation feels awkward. Implementation feels like we could get it wrong, like we could make a mistake, like we could screw it all up, like maybe we're not smart enough or old enough or big enough to be able to do this on our own. Love, I see you, I hear you, and I am you. This is actually why I created the guided journaling experiences that I will tell you all about in the masterclass. Like, full transparency here. Let me talk to you about business. I offer you in the masterclass this exact thing, this idea that here are the mechanics and here's how to do it. And this is the simplest way to actually get started doing it because it's good business. Helping somebody to see what they want to do and then giving them the way to do it is a lovely way to invite people, clients, into your world. It is lovely to offer them a product that solves a really specific problem they have. And the specific problem that you and I have is implementation. I know that you are smart enough to understand the mechanics of changing your brain so that you can get your goal. Smartness is not a problem for you or I, except that we have all kinds of mindset blocks around it. It's why we love to go get more information. It's why we love to go get an expert opinion. It's why we love to ask somebody else to help us to implement, is because we have these mindset blocks around it. The guided journaling products that I have, by the way, really are intended to be so simple. It really is intended to work with that slight mindset superhighway that you have that's like, okay, if I have somebody else helping me ask these questions, these journaling prompts, I really can get started on this. I really can move forward with this. It doesn't have to feel messy and icky and awkward and awful. It can feel easier. And I always offer that it can feel easier, not necessarily easy. Again, the mechanics of changing your brain are that you're challenging your brain. When you really see and are really just on to yourself, that the reason you're asking more questions, the reason you are filling my inbox, and I love you, this isn't me calling you out, But I do get a lot of emails from people asking me, what do you think about X, Y, or Z, this strategy? What do you think about? Or can you explain to me this particular thing? I can, and I would love to. And also, knowledge isn't going to get you any further than it already has without self-awareness. The reason you want more knowledge is for your own thing. I mean, here's where I can't tell you the answer. Here's where I can't give you more knowledge. Here's where self-awareness is the only thing that serves you. There's a mindset block that is slowing you down. That is some version of, I don't understand this, I can't move through this, I don't know how, and therefore I want more information to feel safe. I don't want this to feel messy. I don't want this to feel awkward. I don't want to feel lonely and alone and like I don't know what I'm doing. I get it. I get it. That loneliness thing, it's actually why I created the Get Your Goal membership. It feels weird and awkward and different, and like we are the only people in the world who are actually challenging our thoughts sometimes. We're the only ones in the world who are this ambitious. We're the only ones in the world who are constantly worried about getting it wrong. We are the only ones in the world doing things this way. Inside the Get Your Goal membership, there are so many ambitious, overthinking, wonderful women just like you and me who are muddling through this mess in the middle. I always love a good alliteration. Having knowledge, then implementing it, then normalizing that change is safe, that what you are doing is okay, that there are other people in the world, that you are not the only one, is the beautiful, messy, ridiculous, overthinking path to getting your goal. Rather than sitting still in this I don't know how overthinking loop, I really gently, lovingly want to offer you that you have the knowledge, and if you don't, go watch the masterclass, but you have the knowledge that can get you started on the implementation, that messy muddle in the middle. And if you'd like help with normalizing this messy part in the middle where you are implementing and it feels weird and it feels awkward and it feels like you would love to keep telling yourself that you don't know how, I would love for you to join us inside the Get Your Goal membership. I would love for you to grab one of the guided journaling experiences so that you can start the implementation process. I would love for you to go watch the Daily 3 Masterclass so that you have the knowledge to move forward. This is why I'm in business. This is why I'm on this podcast. This is why I do what I do. Actually, the real reason why I do what I do, I created this entire business here. Let's have some full transparency. I created this entire business for myself to move through this I don't know how loop. I didn't know how until I started gathering the knowledge. And then I tried really, really hard to keep myself in that information gathering phase. And so I started implementing it, and it felt messy and it felt awkward and it felt weird. And then I started talking to you about it long before I was ready, long before I had refined all of the edges, because that is part of implementation, is to just get out there and do it and let it be yucky. And I created the Get Your Goal group for me, for you, for both of us. I love knowing that there are other people who are just as ambitious and overthinking and awkward and too much and worried about not being enough and in the middle of it as me. We are all in this together, at the risk of sounding like High School Musical, which, by the way, is a song that I heard this morning and it's totally in my head, and now it came out of my mouth, and now it'll be an earworm for you too if you know that show or that soundtrack. My friend, we are all in this together, And let's get your goal. Thank you so much for listening today. I'll talk to you again soon.